Rolling. And start the stream. Welcome to Horsin Around, a Dumbass Cast. I'm your host, as always, Nick Mercadante, and with me today I have two, potentially three, if the third one shows up, lovely guests. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
It's me. It's Jacob. I'm Nick's left eye.
No. God damn it. People who are listening to this aren't even gonna get that.
I don't even get that. I was just like, how can I fuck up my intro this time? And I was like, I don't want to do the overt thing of like doing what I always do, which is like introducing myself as a different panelist on the show. So I was like, you literally turned your head and I saw your left eye, and I was like, that's it. I've got it.
Yep. Okay. And who else do we have with us today?
All right. I'm Yash. I have no association with Nick's eyes. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're not my optometrist. For those who are listening to this episode, and for anyone who noticed or cared that there wasn't an episode last week, I got a bit of a black eye from a roughhousing incident last week, and it put me out of commission. For last week's episode, so that is why there was no episode last week.
I didn't know that, so all I saw is you turned, and you still have a little bit of a mark on your eye. So I was like, maybe I missed something. So maybe there's just like something up with Nick's left eye, no, and so I just took a fucking shot in the dark.
I think honestly, the lighting is making it look less bad than it still is. It's definitely getting better.
Oh, no. My camera.
It's definitely a lot better than it was at the beginning of the week, but it's definitely still there and still recovering. I just went to the urgent care center down the road from me today just to be like, because I also on top of that having happened, it also seems like the swelling has like pinched a nerve in my face where like if I try to like flare my nostrils, the like left side of my upper lip just fucking hurts, and if I try to like take a huge bite of food, it also hurts. And I was just like,
that's a problem.
Yeah, I was like, hey doc, is this like, do I need to like do something about this? And he looked me over, and I was like, no, you're probably fine. If it's still a problem like another week from now, then come back. But yeah, so basically I sat in a waiting room for 30 minutes, and then a dude made me look at his finger going from side to side, and told me everything was fine for $148. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
Yep.
Well, that was the metaphorical punch in the eye, if you will.
Yes, yeah, and you know, welcome to America. That is one of the reasons that I understand why people don't want to go to the doctor, because half the time it's like a thing where you're like, well, maybe this could be bad, so I should get it looked at. But then you pay, you know, the large amount of money to just get yourself looked at, and then, for one thing, they're just not there for like 90% of the actual interaction time, and then when they come in, they look you over and they're like, you're fine. Get out of here. So.
And then they're like, that'll be $200, please.
Yep. Gotta love it.
ER? I went to the ER because, what even was it? I think I was like really, like, I thought something was like wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a really weird pain, like that shouldn't have been there. And it turns out it was just like something random. And then they charged me $2,000 to sit there for like an hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was great. They don't, like, they just,
it's fucked up.
Like, it's really prohibitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, luckily I can afford that. Like, my family can pay for that. And like, we have good health insurance. But even then, it's like, if I have something, it's like I'm encouraged not to check it out by my parents, because it's like,
right.
Well, what if, you know, if it's nothing, that's like a lot of money. And if it's something, then that's also a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have pretty okay insurance where I work, and even still, I'm like, wow, this is shit.
Yeah. No, for sure. It fucking blows. I don't know. I've been contributing to this like health savings account that I set up with like when I was electing for health insurance stuff. So I was able to just pay out of that, and that's basically just been like a little bit of money that's been getting deducted from my paycheck going to a separate savings account that I then
Yeah,
just
but
pull from for medical stuff, which is
but
like
have you realized how this thing that you're supposed to be covered for, you're already paying for,
right,
and then you go to
exactly,
the
yeah,
doctor and they're like, more money, please.
yeah, and it's just like bruh. But I don't mean to get us stuck on health insurance all day. That was just a little occurrence that occurred very recently. So I
Wait, tell them how you got injured. How you?
Yes,
I-
I was gonna follow up with this question.
And then I'll
Okay.
summarize what actually happened.
I'm not gonna tell it any different than how I told you. You are literally going to hear the exact same story. All right? Don't
Yeah, but
act
you-
like I'm gonna try and hide shit. I'm not. Okay? I was an idiot. All right, as you may have expected or know if you know me. And I was hanging out at a friend's place, and we were having some brewskis, and I went outside to relieve myself, and then I came back in and I was using their sink to wash my hands. And while I was washing, I was complaining about how they don't have any hand soap there, and that like dish soap isn't as effective for washing your hands as hand soap. And so the guys were giving me shit about talking about that, and then I slapped Colin on his shoulder or something, and he was like, "Don't slap me with your piss hands." And then I slapped him harder because, you know, I was in a state. And apparently I slapped him like hard enough for him to like, you know, have a serious reaction to it, because he then turned around and another friend said, "Hey, take this outside." And my drunk ass was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's go." And then we took it outside, and we were gonna slapbox, but it wasn't much of a slapbox fight because I went to block one slap from him, which was apparently supposed to be a feint and not actually like him trying to hit me in the first place. But he went far enough where I tried to block it, and then I caught it, and then it went into my face with my hand, and then I got a black eye, and I was out of commission for the rest of the evening. So
You got a black eye from punching yourself in the face.
I mean, it wasn't punching myself in the face. It was somebody else assisted with my hand going into my own face, and then I got a
In
black
the
eye.
face, and someone helped, basically.
So, yeah, that is.
I like have some kind of cool like he fought someone story, and I was like, this is the real way I would have thought Nick would have gotten injured.
Yep.
This is.
Yep.
But even if he had fought Colin, the story would still have been bad because it starts off with like, I don't know. Look, I'm gonna
Dumb
come off
shit.
sounding kind of a little bit like a jackass, but sometimes those stories make me go, I don't know. Prohibition caused a lot of crime, but maybe the trade-off was worth it.
Less dumbasses doing
Like-
dumb shit. Look, Prohibition, I think, was like the fair reason behind why people wanted Prohibition to happen was because drunk dads kept coming home and beating their wives and children.
Yeah, I understand. The prohibition thing is just a meme, just to be clear. But like, but also like, you have to be honest with yourself. The reason you have a black eye is because everyone was schwacked, and you're like, I know someone
Yeah.
has.
No, if I was
under normal
not-
circumstances, I would have the social capability to stop myself from slapping Colin on the back, but I am incapable of doing that because the beer has decided I am no longer in control.
There were multiple points where I could have said, "Hey, wait a minute, this is a bad time. I should do this." But yeah, no, you're totally correct.
Just use the dish soap. It's fine.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
With your piss hands, Nick, that's gross.
What?
Don't touch people with your piss hands. That's gross.
They weren't even piss hands. I'm pretty sure I washed them by that point. Like,
But dish soap isn't effective, Nick.
shit, I'm ruining my own argument here. You got me. Yeah, no, definitely. And I will say though, the other thing that I remember learning when it came to just because I remember watching the fucking Ken Burns documentary on Prohibition, and that was.
Are you gonna say on dish soap?
No. I want to go. I want to just touch on the Prohibition topic a little more. But the other thing was like at the time there were like saloons every block. like in
Yes.
almost every major, like even semi-metropolitan area, and then even like frontier towns and stuff. So like,
Yes, but I don't know if you know this. That's still
As it
true
should be.
today.
I don't feel like
People,
it's as
people,
bad.
you're right. It's not big saloons. We call them bars now.
Yeah, but
You
like,
also, a lot of restaurants serve alcohol too.
Yeah.
right,
Like
but
TF Tang serves alcohol.
I guess, but like I feel like it's a different
Cracker
vibe
Barrel
now.
sells alcohol now, Nick.
Are you telling me I could get shwasted at Cracker Barrel? Is that what
I'm
hearing
saying
right
that
now?
they said we ain't selling enough flapjacks. We got to get some cash somewhere else.
Wait, they serve alcohol at Cracker Barrel?
I'm pretty sure I saw an article a couple, like either a month or two ago, that was like, you can now buy alcohol at Cracker Barrel.
Huh. I wonder if
Huh.
it's like in specific states or if they're just trying it everywhere now.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's
Look,
pretty funny.
all I'm saying is that once again, this is going to come off bad to some people, but like my state made the right decision. You can't legally have you legally can't own just a straight up bar in the state of Virginia. It has to be at least a bar and grill. You have to at least make some amount of cash from food sales rather than pure alcohol sales. The only
That's
only
really
people
stupid.
who can sell you alcohol that easily are grocery stores, and they already sell other shit. And the only place that only sells alcohol is the Virginia ABC, and that's the only place you can get. That's the only store that is only alcohol in the state.
That's like the state managed liquor store, right?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
That
Yeah.
seems really stupid.
Yeah.
No, because it prevents those stupid states from going, you know what? We need drive-through beer pickup.
Okay,
That's
that
only
also
one state.
that also
I
does
think
seem
that's-
pretty
Yeah,
stupid.
New Orleans.
and look, all I'm saying is that one state has made enough mistakes for the rest of the country.
Which state is it? Which state does that?
Louisiana, right?
No, I'm pretty sure it's more than just one state.
It's
Louisiana,
I'm
you
gonna
can
look it
get
up right now.
drive-through alcohol, and like sealed container laws, right?
Yeah.
In New Orleans, it counts as a sealed container if you just tape the straw over like the hole that you put the straw in.
I'm about to
So,
list
like-
off, according to Thrillist, here is every state that has drive-up liquor stores: Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, Missouri, New Jersey, North
Wait,
Carolina,
we have
North
drive-through
Dakota,
liquor in New Jersey? What the
Ohio.
fuck? I'm moving back.
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was the one I knew. Rhode Island, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah. Let's see. Apparently you can you can technically order beer at a drive-through in Virginia, but it has to be at a specific regional drive-through location. West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Jesus Christ. Okay, that is a lot more.
Wait,
than...
did you list Louisiana?
Yeah, I listed Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah, so you gotta go
I mean,
find a
honestly-
drive-through liquor place in New Jersey somewhere.
I mean, I don't really drink very often, and I don't drink more than like 2 drinks max.
Just
usually when I drink.
pick up
Me
something for
too.
your parents. You got to do it for the experience. Somewhere on LBI or fucking probably
I'm not
probably at
going
Seaside.
alone.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not going alone to buy alcohol for my parents.
But honestly, that
high
would be
school
funny.
movie.
That it's the exact opposite situation everyone expects. Oh no, I have to pick up.
It's-
I'm picking up the alcohol, and they're like, "What are you doing? Picking up for underage kids?" Nah, my parents. They just didn't want to come to the liquor store.
I'd rather go with someone else though. Like if like
Just
one
turn
of
it
you guys
into like a
if-
vlog. Put a camera on yourself and then just talk to yourself about it.
I'm not that self-involved.
Don't you
It's
like,
not like I have
do
my own
like
podcast.
voice recordings for hours about like Weaver Dice stuff? Just do that,
I
but
do
for a
voice
liquor
recordings For
drive.
my writing. I'm not talking to anyone else. I'm doing recordings for my writing.
Okay.
It's like so I can do writing stuff while I'm doing other stuff.
Oh, all right. I have a clarification of the statement I made before.
Okay.
So at Virginia, you can. I should be more specific on what I mean by liquor, because you can buy beer and wine at grocery stores.
Yes.
But if you go to a grocery store, you cannot find any liquor.
Right. That's the same
Liquor
as
is
New York.
only at the state-run stores.
Yeah.
That's super stupid. Like that's just dumb. Why?
What is it? Well, New Jersey doesn't let you have anything
Look.
in the stores, does it? Or
I can look it up right now, but
Yeah, but there are regular liquor stores, and you can get liquor. You can get stuff at restaurants, and they have bars as well, where you don't have to serve food.
it is harder to bulk buy. It is to prevent easy bulk. Like when you go to a restaurant, you're not being like, oh man, I can't wait to pick up cases of alcohol.
Let's go to fucking.
At least that is what I assume one of the main reasons for the law is.
Sure. Yeah. I understand it, but like, I don't know. I think it. So is it the case where you can only get beer in grocery stores, but you can't have beer stocked in liquor stores, or can you have?
No, you can. It's still stocked there. It's just that
Okay.
VAABC is going to have a lot more liquor because it's the only place to get it. And also, Nick, I'm glad you brought up New Jersey. I just looked up New Jersey liquor laws on stateliquorlaws.com, and so you can get beer at a New Jersey liquor store, or not at a grocery store.
Okay.
But you cannot get wine.
Yeah,
that shit's only sold at liquor stores.
I don't think you could get wine in grocery stores in New York either. Like, none of the Wegmans carry wine. So, like, I don't think that's that unusual.
I don't know about that. I feel like I saw...
Also, Kenneth is tuning in.
Now.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen you.
You are correct. It's the same thing in New York as it is in New Jersey.
Yeah, they seem pretty similar. Norway can only buy alcohol stronger than 5% at the state-owned alcohol monopoly store. Yeah, that sounds like that's the same as Virginia. So we can only buy our beer at the grocery store. Can't even buy wine for cooking. So it's like Norway then. Yeah. I mean, they have cooking wine that has like no alcohol in it in stores, right?
No, that's not. Cooking wine has salt in it. It's still a wine, but it has salt, so you can't drink it.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. It's not, cooking wine is not meant for drinking. Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
What are you saying no to? No as in yes, or no as in no?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you said no when I said yes, it's not for drinking, but you're saying no as in it's not for drinking?
No, I was saying no to the earlier part.
Okay. All right, we're just gonna end this train wreck of a thread right here.
Move on.
Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about something that came up on my Tumblr recently, and I thought was an interesting story. So as you asked earlier, Yash, there was a topic called Beans Hype Drama: Marrying an Old Dude with Dementia for Their Money. So I'm gonna show it on the stream right now. The long and short of it, and I'll scroll through the pictures to verify, but basically, there's this old guy who is in a nursing home who has dementia, and his wife passed away like 20 years ago, but every time that this nursing home assistant came in and worked with him, he kept saying that she was his wife. So she decided, hey, what if I just say, yeah, I am your wife, let's get married again, and then basically is marrying him so that she can be written into the will when he passes away, which is some of the most advanced fuck shit that I have heard of in a hot minute. So I don't know. Have you guys heard anything about this, or do you have any fucking thoughts on this? How ethical is this on a scale of 1 to 10? I'd say 0, personally.
Yeah, it's not ethical, but also, can we talk about how her Twitter handle is Mrs. Vagina Jones? That's the bigger one. What are we talking about this story for?
Wait, why is it called Beans Hype?
Because her Twitter handle is Beans Hype. That's just her username on Twitter.
But her other one is Vagina Jones.
Well, that's her display name that you can change on the fly. Beans Hype is like the one that's permanent, I think.
Okay, nice.
So in what is surely the Twitter what the fuck moment of the year, 19-year-old Olivia Stone married Lee Hopkins, an 89-year-old widower who lives in the elder care facility where she works. When Stone posed
19?
Yes. 19.
That's so weird. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's even weirder than before.
within the next year, I didn't realize, Michael, if we get married, I would be the sole person who gets its inheritance. Yeah, it's
something about this smells fishy.
How do you mean?
And,
You think
and
it
I
might
don't
be
mean
fake?
this reads like a tabloid article, not the article itself.
Okay,
I mean,
I was gonna say this is definitely the most fucking
the story itself. The
Yeah.
story itself feels strange. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I'm saying
yeah.
I don't something is not adding up, because if you want to be written into a will, you don't need to be married to someone to be written into a will.
Right, but she was
you're right. It's easier to inherit things when you're married to a person, but
right, but I think she was pretty much I think she was a caretaker of some sort, and so she was completely unconnected to this man otherwise, and in that sense, I don't know. I don't know if he would have. I guess maybe the thing is he wouldn't have written her into the will if she wasn't getting romantically involved with him, which is laying into the whole this is fucking scummy thing.
But there's also the legal argument that he can't change his own will, because because part of the story is that he has dementia, right?
Yeah.
And his dementia's really bad.
Yeah.
So in order to edit your will, that is why there is the basically sound and reasonable mind aspect to writing a will. You can't just change it all of a sudden the day before, or you can't change it under duress.
I mean, from my understanding, it's on someone else to prove that he was not a sound mind. If someone wants to
contest that's fair. Yeah.
So
maybe the will, maybe it wasn't going to go to anyone specific. Maybe it was just going to go to the state or something.
Right.
And so then there's no one specifically that's going to contest the will.
If he doesn't have, it doesn't seem like he has any other family that it would go to. Obviously, his wife has passed away, so it's not going to her. So yeah, I don't know. And so in this screenshot from Bean's Hype, they say that he knows my name. After the car accident, he got his license reinstated, and it's still valid because he is confident. He proposed to me. I originally said no to his proposition and only changed my mind when I was sent over to him by a supervisor. He's almost fully independent. He does everything except his medication himself. He knows exactly who I am. When I am not home, he calls me to make sure I'm all right. His impairment on most any days goes no further than not knowing the date, with very few exceptions. Because I'm spending almost $4,000.
Okay, so I could just have a mild case of dementia then.
Yeah, I could. I
swear
there were other screenshots here that were saying that he was calling her by his old wife's name.
But I don't know.
I don't think this is real, because what you were saying, it sounds like a tabloid story, because it sounds why would she give an interview about this? It sounds like she's just doing this is just for attention. It's one of those. I mean, you see the headlines on tabloids when you're waiting in line at Stop and Shop, and it's this ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it sounds
that's possible.
just like that.
I mean, once again, it could still be real. It's just in my head, I'm someone should probably contact a lawyer and get this sorted out if there's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of the girls from my high school doing this, 100%. At 19 years old, definitely.
Definitely what? Definitely fake at night? What are you saying?
I could see some of the girls from our high school at 19 years old doing the same thing of marrying this person, who has dementia just for their money.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I think the other thing that makes me question it is I know I mentioned it at the start, but her Twitter handle is literally Mrs. Vagina Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have nothing to disprove it. There's more evidence that it occurred than it didn't occur. But I don't know. I go back to the same thing where I'm why is this getting so much traction? This is why lawyers I know the joke is man, can you believe these blood-sucking lawyers? But there's a reason lawyers exist. It's so that someone can read through all the fucking archaic law and be Yeah, no, there's something sketchy going on here. We can't let this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a lawyer to say this is something sketchy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Years of law school led up to this.
It's definitely just something
Like, so like literally go back one.
Okay, yeah.
Literally go back one page. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what makes me go, I don't know.
There's a couple of tweets like this that are pretty interesting. Fuck, where was oh yeah. Fucking trigger warning, horny and old man. No one has no man ever has an excuse to spend less than 2 hours downstairs again. If your great grandpa could do it, then so could you. Oh,
But that's
God.
what I'm talking about. That shit where I'm like, oh.
What? Wait, can you read that again?
Oh God, I don't want to. She's saying that he ate her out like really good, and that's.
Okay, I didn't
Like,
hear like it cut out for a part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Great.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this could definitely be true. This could also not be true. Am I going to expend a lot of brain power thinking about it? Not really.
No, yeah, definitely not worth spending a lot of time on. It made my head turn around when I saw it pop up in my feed, so I just threw it on there because I thought it was interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, Portman Pro's rated this one a 6
so
out of 10
far.
mediocre bait.
Yeah, fair enough.
We've covered healthcare.
Mhm.
We've covered the legality of wills, and we've covered alcohol laws in various states.
We covered
I mean,
the whole spectrum, man. We got it all.
So like the other thing is like the bigger ethics breach is if she was taking care of him and then like married him. That's a bigger problem because like
Yeah.
you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, it's a position of power thing, and like, yeah, I don't know. It,
But also-
it definitely sounded like, because she said that he could take care of himself. The only thing he didn't do himself was his meds. So I'm assuming that means that she was coming over to give him his meds.
Yeah.
So she's probably some kind of caretaker in that aspect.
But that's the other thing. Is like the story implies that she's a caretaker, but also none of the slides we saw prove that she was a caretaker. Like, if she was a caretaker, she would have to have probably some sort of credential or license in order to get the job in the first place.
Mhm.
So, like, did anyone track that information down to find out if she's actually a practicing
and again, like you said, I don't
nurse?
think
Like,
anybody is going to expend enough brain power to like track down that kind of specific information. So
it kind of it's kind of like what we've been saying. It feels like a very tabloidy story that someone just came across and was like, if I spread this around, it's going to be easy to get traction on this because people can just not do any research and be like, that's weird and I don't like it. It's kind of gross.
Yeah,
and probably ethically dubious if true.
Like, you don't need a license. You don't need a license to be a caretaker, from what I understand. It depends.
Yes, but it depends.
Like, you have nurse practitioners. Like, you can have, like, there are people that just like work there as staff at like a hospital.
Probably also
not
very
just at a
state
hospital,
by
like
state,
any home.
right?
But in one of those tweets, she said that her supervisor assigned her to him.
Yeah.
So that means, to some extent, she worked, assuming, with the big assuming at the start of it, that all this is up to snuff. She participated in a workplace environment, and even still, she would have had to have been employed, and there would have been record of her employment at wherever this guy was staying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, we got a conversation out of it, which is what I was just going for. I don't know. It also is interesting just to be like, dementia is just such a horrible disease in general, and like, anybody that has to suffer through it or have a family member who suffers through it is like just awful. Especially when, like, on the flip side of things, I was reading another post that was explaining how, like, if somebody mistakes or asks about like a deceased partner of theirs or like a family member, and like you don't necessarily like it's not necessarily like your responsibility to correct them every time and make them go through the pain of like losing that person over and over again. So like sometimes, ignorance is bliss kind of deal, but then this person, if this story is true, is like just using that to it. If he is like starting to see his wife in her, she's using that to her advantage to take advantage of this old man and take his money when he dies, which is like, unbelievably fucked up. But yeah, I guess the bottom line is dementia is a horrible disease, and hopefully we can figure out some ways to combat it effectively within our lifetimes.
In conclusion, we don't know anything about this story. It may or may not be true.
We don't know shit about nothing. We're just bullshitting for an hour here. Please understand. None of us are legitimate news journalists, and don't, take everything.
Wait, you're not a journalist?
I know, dude. I'm not breaking the hard cases. It's a tragedy.
You don't have a journalist license, Nick?
Yes, the journalist license.
Oh, wait. Are you an unlicensed podcast practitioner? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Were you assigned to this podcast by your supervisor?
Yeah, my supervisor, God, was who assigned me to this podcast. Yeah.
God assigned you to this podcast?
Yeah, well, actually, alright, no, actually, I take that back. That gets into some
God.
really weird fucking religious territory, because I think there's probably podcasts out there where the people who are hosting it think they are ordained by God to say what they're saying, and I'm not 100%. Trying to push that. So we're gonna Uno reverse that one. But,
so are you trying to push drugs, Nick?
Yeah, I'm trying to sell coke
you have
to kids.
To choose one or the other.
Yeah, I'm trying to sell coke to kids. I am firmly in that category if I had to choose.
All right, I can. Let's move on.
Okay, great. Yeah. Great work, guys.
Free me from this conversation.
What else we got? We can talk about something that you guys dropped. Yeah, Phasmophobia.
You want to talk about The Boys, right?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it on Monday, but I'm down to talk about it more. Have you seen it, Jacob?
No, and I don't know. I heard good things, but then every time I think about watching it, I'm like, I don't want to watch The Boys.
It's it's a lot. I think it's something that like you can. There's a certain amount of like gallows humor where like it's a very dark show, but like it goes to like the absurd level, and then it.
I know, but I don't know. I think that was my turn off, is that I'm like not in a place to be like, yep, I want to watch this.
Yeah, I got you.
Also, like, I don't know. Just through cultural osmosis, I kind of understand what the show's about, and I'm like, yep, that's very clearly the themes of the show. All right, I don't need to watch it for the themes, and it would just be for pure entertainment value. And I'm just not in a state right now to be like, man, I can't wait to watch that guy's girlfriend get fucking destroyed in episode 1.
The first 10 minutes of the episode.
For me.
What?
Like, I had no idea that was coming when it happened.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is not going where I thought it was gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just kind of at a point with some content. Also, just in general, I don't like TV shows. Not saying like TV is a bad platform in order to tell a story. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that just me personally, I don't engage well with the medium of television. As Nick knows,
difficult method of consuming the media.
Yeah, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like movies. I like video game. I like. I'm going to sit down and absorb, like, have this be my sole focus and absorb all of it.
Interesting though that you played Telltale games, because those were episodic, and honestly, the breaks between episodes were most of the time longer than what most TV shows would do to you.
Yes, but I can sit through that like all through one, and each like it's not like I don't like any TV show. It's just harder for me to get into. Also, when it's a Telltale game, I'm actually actively participating.
That's a
so
important factor.
It's easier for me to stay involved.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah, well, that's fine. We could talk about some other stuff, but yeah, we can still talk about it
because I did want to say, I don't know. I think the other thing that's been a turnoff for The Boys for me, and this is not like saying The Boys is bad because of this. It's more about like I don't know. I think with Game of Thrones, culturally, I was just kind of like, I'm tired of society being like,
Ultra
see,
violence.
it's mature because it's got booby and blood, and I'm like, that's the. There's an old Red Letter Media joke that's pretty funny, and it was about Rogue One, which this isn't necessarily about whether you like the film or not, but it's more about they're like, oh man, that movie was really dark, and they're like, oh, you mean thematically? And he goes, no, I just couldn't see anything during the movie. And I was like, that's how I feel about some stuff where they're like, ooh, it's so dark and brooding, and I'm like, that's great, but I want to like, and once again, this is not saying that The Boys does not deliver on story and themes. It's more about like that type of content. Like I said, I'm just not currently in the mood to consume.
Like, yeah, it's hyper violent, and like if that's not something you're vibing with, then that's fine. Like there's nothing to complain about. Yeah, and I mean,
I just realized I've come out against violence and alcohol on the same episode.
Oh my god, are you trying to like convert? Wait, are you trying to convert people to Christianity? Like,
no,
what's going on?
Send me back to the Puritan colonies.
I was gonna say you are very, you know, for someone from Virginia, you're very like Massachusetts. Back in the day.
Wow.
I don't know how I'm supposed to take that. I mean, my dad is from Massachusetts, so maybe
pass it down.
Also, people from Massachusetts fucking love alcohol and violence. What are you talking about?
Have you ever been to Boston?
I know. I used to live in Massachusetts. No, I used to live in Boston.
Oh well, then I don't know what your argument is.
Oh, let me finish saying it. Look, what I mean is like in Virginia, like Jamestown was founded for like economic reasons, but like in Massachusetts, like they started their colonies there because.
Oh, you were talking about like the beginning of the state, not like what the state.
We were talking about Puritans and stuff.
Okay,
we brought up Puritans like by name, right? So like Virginia was like not really religious at all. I mean, they were religious, but it wasn't about religion.
Yeah.
And then in Massachusetts, they like wanted to be even more strict than they were allowed to be in England. So they were like, we're going to come here.
Yeah. That's because England had adopted Anglicanism, and they're like, whoa, the king gets to divorce his wife now? Fuck that shit. I'm leaving the country. I'm going across the world so I don't have to deal with that.
I would literally rather be angry for the rest of my life than divorce my wife.
I'm glad that you have brought up the Virginia colonies, because me and my friend who grew up here in Virginia, we have a lot of conversations joking around about how a lot of other states just don't learn. They're like, yep, the Pilgrims, they showed up in Massachusetts and they were the first people here. Meanwhile, in Virginia history, they're like, no, forget these boring Puritans up in the north. Did you know about the Jamestown colony?
Well, that's like a big mystery, right? That was the Jamestown colony that disappeared?
No, that is the Roanoke colony.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
It was like this big thing where it was like they disappeared, and when they came, all they found was carved into a tree. I think it was Croatoan or Croatan.
Like I think it was Croatoan.
Yeah, so it was like that was the only clue. And I mean, like, I believe that there was a Native American tribe nearby that was called like the Croatoans or something like that. So like the mystery is solved, in my opinion. But I mean, I don't know. That was actually the subject of like a Marvel comic.
Is the leading theory that like Indians attacked or like?
Well, so one of the problems is there's no clear evidence of what happened to the Roanoke colony. It's mainly. So what happened is that, Sir Walter Raleigh, he's like, man, I want to get my hands on all of that gold in America.
Of course,
like every other European.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I'm trying to remember how much. I know Jamestown was founded along those lines for gold. I just don't know off the top of my head if Roanoke had the same ideals. I mean, it had the ideals of
American.
Hey, who cares? Who cares who lives here? This is ours now. But anyway, I don't want to tangent us off into an hour-long discussion about the legacy of American
tangented from
colonialism.
like not wanting to talk about the boys into Roanoke lore.
But,
like this is fine.
But basically, what happened to the Roanoke colony is that they show up, they found the colony, and they're there for a little bit, and they're like, "Ah, shit, dude, we're almost out of food." So they send the captain of the Roanoke colony back. Right. His name was Humphrey Gilbert, and they were like, oh, sorry, that might be the captain of the first Roanoke colony. let's see, blah 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 blah. Second colony led by John White. Yeah, this one would be known as the Lost Colony. Yeah. So basically, what happened is they're pretty sure that the relationship with, the relationship with the local Native Americans was already poor because I don't know if you know this, the Native Americans, they did not like that a bunch of Europeans showed up and were like,
this is ours.
This is ours now.
This is your land. My land.
And so they were running low on supplies and they needed food, so they send the captain back, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna get back here as soon as possible." And he gets delayed by like several years. And
oopsies.
Yes, because I don't know if you know this, crossing
the
Atlantic in 1590, that shit hard. That'd take a long time. So he goes back to England. He's like, I got the supplies. And they're like, sorry, you can't go back yet. And he's like, shit. So he waits. He gets back. He's like, shit, can't wait to deliver all these new supplies to my best buddies at the Roanoke colony. They show up. Nobody's there.
Nobody's home.
And then I have it was actually Croatoan. Everything was just kind of abandoned, very spooky. I kind of do want to visit there one time because that's I don't know, the history of that place is interesting. I almost said cool, but then I was like, you know what, colonialism,
not so cool. Not the coolest thing, to be quite honest.
But what a lot of people don't know is that the Roanoke colony is usually tied together with the Virginia colonies, but that's mainly because they were settled time-wise not too far away from each other. But if you know things about geography, you know that the Roanoke colony is actually in North Carolina. And that's your geography fact of the day, kids.
Damn. Well, twist at the end. Like it. Yeah, there's, I don't know.
Today.
Everybody loves a good mystery, so it's just...
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
things.
One
of the classics.
Look, it's America, spooky.
Yeah. There's literally I remember there's a book series that I used to love looking into every once in a while. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was like Haunted. I think it was literally called like Haunted and then the state name, so like Haunted New Jersey, Haunted New York, Haunted whatever, and it was just like they could fill literal books with all the haunted shit in pretty much every state. I don't know, man, how they managed to find like enough haunted shit to fill a book for Rhode Island, but I think they did. So kudos to them.
Rhode Island kind of spooky.
Yash, we can't hear you. Are you talking?
We can't hear you, Yash. No, still no good.
I said, I think it was, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Wait, now you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me or not?
Yes, we can
hear
you.
Okay,
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I was saying that I think it's Weird New Jersey, not Haunted New Jersey.
What? Weird that it's Haunted New Jersey and
it's named Weird.
Book
He's saying it's
called
Weird
New Jersey.
Oh.
The series is called Weird, not Haunted.
Yeah, you're right. So it's not necessarily all ghost-related stuff, but yeah, like that series covers a lot of haunted stuff and general oddities found throughout every state.
Yeah.
That's actually, I met like one of my best friends through like a connection with that book, sort of.
Really?
In senior year, in the second half of senior year, me and Raina were in creative writing.
Mm-hmm.
And we also sat next to Linnea and McGuire.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like these final projects that we had to do, and it was like choose a topic and then like do the whole thing. Like you have to write multiple pieces of creative writing. It's like a short story, like a longer story, a poem, blah blah blah. And me and Linnea and McGuire, we found out that we all like spooky stuff. Because McGuire was going to do her project on Clinton Road, which is the haunted highway of New Jersey. And we didn't really look it up to see how far away it was because we left at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock on a school night. It was a 2-hour drive. Yeah, so we were going there, and then McGuire was in a separate car, and she said that they closed down the highway because of like a big accident. And so then it was just like me and Linnea were like driving for 2 hours, and then we just went to like a diner and we had some pie, and we came back, and that's how we became like really good friends after that.
Incredible.
So thank you, Haunted Highway, for that.
Yeah, I guess the real ghosts were the friends we made along the way.
Truly.
Yeah, basically.
Truly.
I still haven't been there after all the. Whenever we make plans, something always goes wrong, and we end up doing something else. Like we went to the Nick. I think you know Northlands, right? Like the
Oh
largest
hell yeah! I fucking
model.
love Northlands. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like the largest model train place in the world.
It is
And me and Linnea
so
were supposed to
cool.
go there, and we did go there, and it was closed when we went there,
Wait,
despite it
like
being
just
open
closed for the
online.
season or like closed permanently? Please don't tell me the Northlands is
No,
closed
it wasn't.
permanently.
I mean, if it was closed permanently, it's been like 2 years. But
Okay.
no, it was closed for like the day or something, but they didn't say that it was closed online.
Oh thank
And
God.
so every time we try and do something, it's like it just like everything is closed or something happens where we can't go there.
Yeah.
But I think it's still pretty fun.
You have been in Northlands though, right? Like you've actually been able to go in there at some point?
No, that was the one time we tried to go.
Oh, dude, I've got to bring you sometime. I fucking love. I've been there probably like 4 or 5 times throughout my
Is that
life.
what the state of
Really?
New Jersey
Wow, that's a
is?
lot of times.
What did you say, Jacob?
I said, is this what the state of New Jersey is? You're like, oh man, we ain't got much going for our state, but we got the train.
Dude, you need. I will take you to this train museum if you ever want to come down.
I
to
mean,
New
it looks
Jersey
really
sometime.
fun, honestly.
This, like, yeah, I'm pulling up some pictures on Google Images right now. And like, yeah, like you could see this dude is like standing in the middle of one of the canyons, and it's just like such a well like modeled and like intricate space with like so much shit going on, and like just the limit. I don't know, just like the limit, like they just go beyond whatever limits of imagination that like you could imagine for doing like model train sets. And it literally started in this guy's basement. What?
Go beyond what the limits that you can imagine.
I was just shitting words out at that
just
point.
Just for that one category.
But like this all started in one. Oh wow, that's funny. This is literally an image from Weird NJ. So this is probably in the book somewhere. It
is pretty weird.
But it started in some guy's basement, and then he just kept building it, and then after a certain point, he just like bought out like a pretty much empty. I don't know. I think it was a theater or something, because like the center area has like a bunch of organs on display, and it looked like a ballroom kind of area, that you kind of cross through as on your way to a different section of the place. But he just kept building and building and building, and then people like he just started selling tickets to show it off, and that just became his living. And I think one time I went with Brad and Kyle and Sam, and like we just hung out and talked with the dude, because he was just chilling at the like ticket stand or whatever. He was super sweet. He was just like an old dude vibing, and it's like, man, that's goals, dude. If I could just run like a fucking Lego place or model train place for the end of my days, that would be a hell of a deal. Truly.
I concur.
But you have to be good at Legos.
Yeah,
like,
I would have to be very good at building this stuff. But like, if I could get to that level, by God, and then get paid for it, it'd be.
Like I keep up with like Lego news and stuff like a bit, and like when I look at these things that people make, like all I can think is like maybe I said this before to you or someone else, but it's like when people talk about like when they're musicians and like they practice so hard and they see like a prodigy, and like they're it's like outplaying them at like 7 years old, and they're like I can never be this good. Like I've never understood that, but I get it with Legos. Because like I see the stuff people make, and I'm like, I will never ever be able to make that, no matter how good I get. It's just beyond insane. There is this one guy. There's this YouTube channel called Beyond the Brick, and they go to like Lego cons and stuff, and like talk to the people that are making these crazy things. And I think this one was like most impressive to me. Is like he made like a fleet of like ships that are orange, and like ships isn't like spaceships with like each one has a different role, and there's like like tiny like fighters and stuff that come out of one of them. And he actually like made like letters on the ship, like out of Legos, like brick built letters, like, but it's all smooth, which is like really impressive. And there's like a white line that borders that like it's like a rectangle that borders the whole thing, like the whole written space. And he said that to make that he needed one specific piece that was only released in one set ever in that color. And he said he bought out the entire supply of that piece in North America to like make that one like detail.
Oh my god!
It's like these people are like, it's insane like that they can even like conceive of this stuff. And like the most impressive stuff like I've seen, I think that anyone can appreciate. One of them is you know, like Order of the Phoenix. There's like that house, like that like appears between two houses.
Yeah.
Like someone made a version of that that's like really small and compact. Like it's like the size of like a 13-inch MacBook, let's say.
Okay.
And if you like, it looks like a normal just two houses. But then if you pull like a secret part of like the base, then it splits apart into two. And like it looks seamless. Like you just like if you look at it from the front,
it's like a picture book opening up kind of deal.
But it's all 3-dimensional though.
Yeah, like a picture book.
If you look at it from the top, what it really looks like is it's like the two buildings, and then like this like the third house is almost shaped like a wedge a little bit, in the way that it comes forward.
Oh.
But it like pushes forward, and the other two houses slide to the side. And if you go look at it from the back, it's got like a full interior, but like on like micro scale, which is really cool. And the other one was like a piano that like is like a fully. It doesn't make sound, but it's like a fully functioning piano.
Yeah,
like it's got like hammers, it's got strings,
and like it'll move some strings around.
It's got like it's so compact, but it's like everything is perfect. Like even the stool, like it can be adjusted like up and down, which is crazy. And it's got like like the stand, like the like like the key cover that you can like close down to like cover up the keys like when you want it to be safe. You can do that, and it's like it's like slow. Like it doesn't just like flip down. There's like some kind of mechanism that slows it down. It's insane. It won like a competition. Lego has this thing called Lego Ideas.
Yeah.
Which is like it's like people can submit their original ideas, and other people will vote for like which one they think is best. And if you get like 10,000 votes, then Lego will consider it for like an actual set.
Yeah. I only know about that because a bunch of people were trying to get fucking like the Daft Punk Alive pyramid like concert set up as a submitted idea, and apparently it's like won a couple of things, but they just don't want. I think Lego either doesn't want to deal with having to license from whoever Daft Punk is like contracted under, or they don't want to have to make a new minifig mold just for that, for like the limited edition set. I think originally there was one that was literally just like the two, Daft Punk guys with the robot helmets and stuff, but they don't want submissions that are just minifigs, and so then they did one that was like the pyramid setup, and then that one won or got passed over. I don't know. People were mad about it, but it's whatever.
You can't go, like one of the rules I know is you can't make something that's like already part of like a license that Lego owns. So you can't make like Star Wars stuff because they already have the Star Wars license. Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, a license is like kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And like those licensed sets are more expensive. Like with Star Wars, what they started to do, I had this friend in the Lego store. I had like a Connect. And his name was Indiana.
In the system.
Of all things. Oh yeah. And his name was Indiana, funny enough, but he said that the way they do it now is like they put like the life, like like a certain cost is like added on for like licensed products, and Lego has started like adding that to the more expensive sets, so they can keep the lower sets cheaper. So like it's like skewed towards like the more expensive sets, which will be like even more expensive maybe than normal.
Oh, so they hyperinflate the cost of the expensive ones so that they can maybe lower the price of the cheaper ones.
Yeah, so it's like if there's like a 30% kind of licensing fee. I mean, this math is not going to work out, but like it's like they keep it to 10% on like the regular ones, like the cheaper ones, and they'll make it like 40%. Maybe that doesn't work. I'm not good at math, but you get it.
Yeah, I get the idea. Yeah, but yeah, no, for sure. I mean, back to what you were originally saying. Like, yeah, there's some things where you're just like, dude, how nobody's ever gonna. I could never see myself getting to that level, and then sometimes that's okay. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna become like a dungeon master like fucking Matt Mercer, but like you don't need to reach that level to be a good dungeon master. Like,
also, I think we forget that like a lot, as much as it's hard to like rationalize it, a lot of these people do have money behind them.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they are being funded somewhere,
Yeah.
either out of their own pockets, or you're Matt Mercer and you basically found a D&D company so that it pays for all the D&D expenses.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, right? That wasn't initially. Like they just
No,
had their
yeah, he
own.
No,
definitely-
it wasn't
funded.
initially, but
Yeah.
like it's a lot easier when you can be like, I bought all of the 5th edition books, and that's a business expense.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
gets like a personal tap into like all the resources. He also literally like writes new resources for D&D Beyond as well. Like he's definitely very invested in it, but he's also on the flips in the give and take. He's got almost unlimited access to like a bunch of creative tools.
He's also Matt Mercer,
Yeah,
so that
Very
doesn't
true.
implicitly make him like hella wealthy, but also like he ain't just some guy.
yeah. He's got a lot of experience, and he knows what he's doing in terms of fucking running narrative experiences and playing characters. Improv,
Like
acting.
being a voice actor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That like really makes a huge difference for the entire group, right? It's just a lot more interesting to watch them because they like really role play like fully.
Mhm.
While, I mean, the normal people are not very good at accents.
Right. Yeah.
So
See, I almost have an opposite reaction. I know I'm in the minority for this call when it comes to my opinion of Critical Role,
Mhm.
but I almost
you're figuring out a lot of things, really.
yeah, look, I've decided this episode is titled "The Funeral of Jacob Stenstrom." This is where I list all my grievances before you toss me in the ground. But I don't know. I almost enjoy, and not an amateur level, but I enjoy. I don't like it when it feels like things are going so smoothly. I especially when it comes out in like a live context,
Sure.
or when it's supposed to act similar to that live context of like you're actually seeing the people.
Mhm.
That is why when people are like, Jacob, why do you keep saying that you miss like live presentations like E3? And I'm like, because I enjoy, like, look, of course I want E3 to like, or like big presentations to go off without a hitch. But also, there's always fun like everyone has great memories of watching that one presentation that just bombs.
Yeah.
And like you or like they're like, and here is our gameplay demonstration, and then Xbox 360 catches on fire or something like that. Like,
dude, we would be in such a dimmer world as a whole if we did not have that guy come out and announce Peggle 2 in the way he did. There's just a fun there's a fun aspect of when things mess up. I don't want it all the time, but there's an aspect of like when things are going too smooth, there's almost nothing for me to react to sometimes, if Sure.
that makes sense. I know that feels kind of like backward logic when I say it out loud, but
no, I got you.
You're a little sadistic. You need that little bit of failure to like, get the full enjoyment out of it.
Like, because I don't know, I guess I'm tired of getting lost in the branding sauce, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to be like, oh, we're so clean and we spent so much money making this hyper-focused thing go smoothly. But it's fucking hilarious when Elon Musk comes out and he's like, this thing will stop this giant rock from breaking the window. And then the rock breaks the window. Like, that shit's hilarious, dude.
That shit was pretty fucking funny. By God. I don't know if you... Do you know this Peggle 2 gif, Yash, by the way?
Do I?
If that went over your head or not, yeah.
No, that went over my head.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
like, I've never been a huge gamer, obviously.
Yeah, I just put the link in the in the horsing around chat. Basically, just some guy. Peggle 2 is a very casual, like, not bejeweled, but like, in that sort of area of like PopCap games where it's pretty casual. And so just this dude came out and like announced it in a ridiculously over enthusiastic manner. And it's just a play.
He's really going ham.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
I fucking love it.
Like you also, I don't know, a good example I always come back to, I know this might go over your head, but there's a great E3 moment when during one of the, I think it was Ubisoft's presentation, it was either Ubisoft or EA, and they brought out the guy who made like Unravel for the first Unravel game.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
comes out and he's just so shy and so pure.
But he's
and you're
literally like just an actual indie game developer. Like he just didn't know what the fuck he needed to do. Like nobody, like they probably gave him a script, but he didn't have any experience being on stage in front of an audience of thousands. Like,
and you just don't get that. You don't get the same energy in a recorded video as you do with a live video. That's why I enjoy Twitch and YouTube for two very different experiences, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. In Twitch, you can see a dude accidentally unload his Glock on some G Fuel and then get banned for bad handling of firearms. Shit just happens sometimes, you know? Good lord.
What did he shoot?
He it's like a protein energy powder thing.
That's what you want to call it.
Yeah, it's a scam. It's some gamer. It's advertised to gamers as like, you can game better if you take this stuff.
It's Red Bull, but somehow worse.
Yeah. It's the same thing as like it's a practically equivalent to whatever fucking erection enhancement pills Alex Jones sells to his dumbass audience. But yeah, some dude. You like that one?
Man. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, the what's it called? Yeah, it's just pointless. But he just accidentally, I think he was a little inebriated, which is the real, dangerous part and why he got banned. But he unloaded a Glock on some G Fuel on his desk, and he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize that was loaded," and was promptly banned. So, yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah. All right, we're at about time here. I do want to at least talk about one more thing because you guys dropped a good amount of stuff in the comments here. Jacob, I see you wrote down Scooby-Doo and Halloween is cool, and that seems appropriate for the time period. So did you have anything in particular you wanted to say about Scooby-Doo? Or
you know me, I fucking love Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I
know. Also, it's the spooky season, so I was like, I can use this as a Trojan horse plant operation to tell people how good Scooby-Doo is.
Are they still doing movies with the WWE? Are they still doing that?
I think we've passed that cursed phase of Scooby-Doo.
But that wasn't a cursed phase. That was fucking amazing.
But I mean, we're still living in the cursed phase because they're like, hey, look, I know that we've only given one Scooby-Doo movie any budget, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and I mean animated films.
Yeah.
And we're just going to continue not giving them any money. And I'm like, no, please.
What happened with Scoob? Was Scoob any good? Did you see that?
No, because it looked terrible. And then I heard the opinions about that movie ranged from, wow, how bad was that, to it was fine. And I was like, guess I don't need to watch this one.
Yep, that's
really runs the gamut there. Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to get some friends to watch like some classic Scooby-Doo right now. I'm trying to watch do you remember Ghoul School and the Boo Brothers?
Dude, I loved Ghoul School. I had that on VHS.
Ghoul School is like a classic. It's so good.
That one is the one where it's Red Shirt Shaggy and Scrappy's there, and then they go to a school and there's a bunch of child monsters, right?
Yeah. It is a boarding school for the daughters of famous monsters.
Right.
Yeah, I remember Dracula's daughter specifically, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. The designs in that movie are so good. The other one I was trying to get him to watch was I said Boo Brothers, but also Boo Brothers is because it has the greatest scene of all time where the ghost of Old Man Beauregard shows up and he's like, leave this place. But I digress. That shit's great. But the other one I was thinking about was The Reluctant Werewolf, where they're like, yo, what if the backstory to Shaggy was that he was a fucking cool ass dirt rally driver? And I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, Jacob, I watched that movie in your room. It was not that good. I gotta keep it real with you, Chief.
But what about where he's got the girlfriend with the poofy hair, and also the vampire girl wants to jump on Shaggy's bones so fucking bad?
Wait, wasn't that Dracula's wife or something? And she was trying to have an affair with Shaggy?
that was either Dracula's daughter or person associated with him. I don't think it was
Okay.
actually his wife.
Associate.
And the only reason, right? The only reason that they needed the only reason Shaggy was in like that, the only reason that movie happened at all was because Dracula was hosting basically the wacky races, but for monsters, and then werewolf, like the real werewolf, was just gone or something.
Yes, my apologies. Her name, I believe, was Vanapyra, which is, of course, a joke name on the Elvira.
I don't.
Look, all I'm saying is that there's a character in this movie called Bone Jangles, and that shit's great.
Oh my god! And then they also
I don't
have
know.
like the Tweedledee and Tweedledum that
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to
yeah,
fuck
yeah,
up
yeah,
Shaggy
yeah.
and Scoob the whole time.
Why can I find it on this?
On the wiki.
Oh yeah, the Crunch Bunch. One of them is named Crunch, and the other one is named Brunch.
Yep.
What?
Lovely. Truly,
Wow.
it is a movie that you certainly may want to watch once if you are inebriated. I don't know if you need to watch it any more than once, personally.
Scooby-Doo.
Well, I think
I got into
the dangers of alcohol, Nick. So I don't know.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo's great. I love the moral of Scooby-Doo. Like, sure, not all of the movies follow this moral. Like, I got into it, not an argument, but like, I still defend the the Scooby-Doo movies with actual monsters in them because I still find them very entertaining.
Sure.
But the main theme of Scooby-Doo is, hey, you know that spooky thing out there? It's actually just a guy trying to make money. And I'm like, damn, ain't that the truth, brother?
Ain't that the fucking truth? Yeah, that's a pretty good moral to end on, I'd say.
Also, the dog can talk. All right, that's it.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Usually, typical scheduled content is going to be rolling out as usual for the upcoming week. So, Master Chief Collection Monday is happening on Monday. That's the next thing. So, I hope I'll see you there for that. And until then, stay safe out there. Peace out. Stop the stream.